beyond a royal title, who is Meenakshi Devi Ji as a person?
That's a difficult question you asked me. So, as a woman, as a custodian of heritage, and as a businesswoman, also very much into environment. So, I think all these.
And ask the Maharaja to, will you please provide us with the seva?
No. So, what happened again? We go back to Aurangzeb's time when Shrinath Ji was in Govardhan. They were scared for the protection of this thing. So he went. Maharaja at that time was Maharaja Man Singh.
Will you please brief up about the Maharaja Savant Singh Ji?
Yes, Maharaja Savant Singh Ji was a great devotee of Srinath Ji, and he was a great patron of arts, painting. In fact, Bani Thani was a courtesan in his time, and also he was very much into religion. He abdicated the throne of Kishangarh and he went to Vrindavan.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, we are very privileged to have you here on our podcast. Thank you so much for this honor. Your Highness, to begin with, we would love to know that beyond a royal title, who is Meenakshi Devi Ji as a person?
I think that's a difficult question you asked me, because both the images merge into what I am. So, as a woman, as a custodian of heritage, and as a businesswoman, as a person, I conserve a lot of buildings. I am also very much into environment. So, I think all these different facets merge into what I am.
What you are.
Yes.
And you're truly inspired by the personality what you have, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, Kishangarh has a rich history of art, culture, legacy known across.
Yes.
So, being a citizen of Kishangarh, I really wanted to know what was the foundation of the Kishangarh?
That's a very apt question, because to start the whole thing, let me just tell you, there's a very famous saying in English which says there is no present or future. It is really the past repeating itself over and over again. So I feel a knowledge of your past, learning from the past, the good and the bad, makes you move forward. In whether you're a custodian to a bigger heritage or even to a smaller heritage, like in your own family, you must know, because that helps you in knowing your medical problems, what your grandfathers, grandmothers, what the lifestyle, what the daily life was about. And with that knowledge, you can move brilliantly forward. Kishangarh, as you know, was established by the Maharaja, my husband's ancestor, Maharaja Kishan Singh Ji, who was a prince of Jodhpur. He conquered this area. It took him a long time, about 10 years. And he named it after himself and called it Kishangarh. It was all small little villages and settlements. And in 1611, he established the fort of Kishangarh, and he got the kingdom recognized. Those days you had to get it recognized by the Mughal emperor. So Jahangir was the Mughal emperor at the Agra court. So he recognized Kishan Singh Ji, and that was how Kishangarh started. And we take the establishment from the building of the fort.
Fort.
Yes.
Okay. Her Highness, we have heard about the Bani Thani art, which is really very famous, and we just came to know that the Britishers took that art from us, and it was.
First of all, I like to correct you in this. It's not Bani Thani. It's Radha, because it's the epitome of the most beautiful woman. We are Krishna Bhakts. So for us, the most beautiful and the female principle of godliness is Radha. So the most woman that beautiful in the eyes of the painter, of course, Radha. In fact, when the stamp was made, when the government of India wanted to make a stamp on it in the 70s, so my husband, the present Maharaja, Bajaj Singh Ji, he said that you have to write Radha Kishangarh. So they said, we never write the name of a place. They said, then I will not allow the painting to be used as a stamp. Regarding Bani Thani, yes, there was a lady called Bani Thani. She was a courtesan, and she was very, very talented. She was she was also a very good poetess. And so somehow the myth and reality mixed, and this lady was called that because we do have a painting of the actual Bani Thani, who looks totally different.
So is it
Because paintings were really, I would say, in a very simple form, like photographs today. Or you had to, in the Mughal court, it became very popular because in the Mughal court, like a passport photograph, you had to go and get your image, you had to sit for a portrait, I would say. And then how would you record events? So most of them were recorded by painting. And Kishangarh developed their own style, which in the time of Maharaja Savant Singh Ji reached its top. And of course, that was a time just when little after Aurangzeb's time, or most of the artists were in Delhi. So once Aurangzeb stopped the art forms and all kind of what he thought was pleasure-seeking devices, the different courts, let's talk about Rajasthan, they got these artists to their courts. And then each area made Jaipur, Jodhpur, Kishangarh or Mewar, they developed their own particular style from the beauty, what they saw around it, and the patronage of the ruler who they painted for. So a lot of art, like a lot of buildings, like a lot of literature, it's all about the patron. Because when you have the patronage, the work works on that basis.
So this is not true that the Bani Thani art was like equal to the Mona Lisa.
No, so then they started when the first time the image was published in 1950s. They compared it to the Mona Lisa. It became and of course it became very popular after the stamp was made. But I suppose, I mean, I'm happy that they call it the Mona Lisa, or should we say the Mona Lisa of the Radha of India?
Radha of India.
Yes. So it can be work both ways. But the Kishangarh is very, very famous for the art. And it's mainly about the places around. In fact, we have a lot of the Gundala, the lake, which is full of lotuses. And a lot of the paintings, a lot of the forests, a lot of fauna, what it was that time, a lot of buildings, a lot of pavilions. So that's all there in the paintings.
So, ma'am, we just came to know that Srinath Ji first came to Kishangarh and asked the Maharaja will you please provide us with the seva?
No. So what happened again? We go back to Aurangzeb's time when Srinath Ji was in Govardhan. So they were scared for the protection of this thing. So he went. So the Maharaja at that time was Maharaja Man Singh. He was he was of course a general in the Mughal army. Most of the rulers that time all over Rajasthan were, and a great bhakt. So he went there to Srinath Ji, and Srinath Ji apparently would give instructions through an old lady who was used to do seva to Srinath Ji. And he said, situation like this, why don't you come in Kishangarh? So Srinath Ji apparently said that abhi hamari marzi to wahan nahi hai, पर तुम्हारे एंसेस्टर्स ने और तुम्हारी फैमिली ने इतनी भक्ति करी है तो हम कुछ दिन वहाँ रुकेंगे. तो in Pitambar ki Gal, he was here for a period of time, and then he moved on, then went to Chopasni, Jodhpur, until the Rath went and stopped at Nathdwara. Yeah, and so we are basically, we also Pushti Marge, we believe in that sect. So I think it was of the bhakti of Maharaja Roop Singh Ji, so he said, I will stay here for a little while. So they still have, I think they've made a kind of a choki kind of a thing there of thing. It was, and it was protected. Because totally protected, and it was in a it was not broadcasted that he was here because there was the fear of the Aurangzeb and his forces.
And it's really great to know the history of Kishangarh. Like we just came to know like there are lots of myth going in the Kishangarh. Aisa hua, aisa hua. But it's a privilege to know from you that what exactly happened in Kishangarh.
Yes, and actually I was very lucky because in around I think 1890s, a little earlier. The Maharaja then, Maharaja, his name was Maharaja Savant Singh Ji. So he decided that the Kishangarh history should be written down, and everything was taken 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. Earlier history was in bays and khatas, and mainly from accounts and things. So there's a whole department was made here called the Tawarik. So they wrote down everything. So we have a complete recorded written history which describes everything, literally everything. And it was initially a little difficult to read, but you get used to it because it's written in the script is of course Hindi, and the language is Kishangarhi. So, but that's not very difficult. And once you get used to reading it, you are able to read it.
So, Her Highness, we have also heard about recently a video was being launched by Premanandji Maharaj. Maharaja Savant Singh Ji was a great devote to Shrinath Ji. So, will you please brief us about the Maharaja Savant Singh Ji?
Yes, Maharaja Savant Singh Ji was a great devotee of Shrinath Ji. He's written, I think, about 270 volumes of poetry. And he was a great patron of arts, painting. In fact, Bani Thani was a courtesan in his time, and at that time, because of some political reasons, Kishangarh was divided into two. So Rupangarh became separate, and Kishangarh became separate. So, because I think there was fraternal war between two brothers. So, and also he was very much into religion. He abdicated the throne of Kishangarh and he went to Vrindavan. And he lived there, wrote his poetry and did seva of Srinath Ji, and died there. But he was a great devotee. As I told you, he's about 270 thing, which some of his works were published in a book called Nagar Samujay again in the 1890s. And then he changed his name from Savant Singh Ji to Nagari Das. Yes.
So the Kishangarh is also named by the Nagari Das Singh.
No, he changed his name, and his name because he was when he wrote those the poetry, those granths and all. So he wrote as Nagari Das, and he was after he gave up the Rajpat, he was he was called Nagari Das and Sant Nagari Das, Okay. And he lived in Vrindavan. Yes.
So, Her Highness, we really want to know about the Maharaj Raja Singh Ji. We just came to know that on Dashera, हम उनके clothes बाहर लाते हैं, पूजा उनके clothes की पूजा करी जाती है. So, what is the story behind all this and how true it is? He really wanted to know.
No, that's absolutely true. His name was Maharaja Raj Singh Ji, and he was again very connected with the. I mean, as I told you, they were all generals in the Mughal army. So after Aurangzeb died, there was a battle between Aurangzeb's sons. Okay. All right. So he supported, the Sani supported it. His name was Muazzam, and who later became the Mughal emperor. His name as Bahadur Shah. Okay. So in that battle between two brothers, and when they fought for the succession of the throne of Agra, he was wounded very severely. And the dress he was wearing that time is still with dress. I mean, by the dress I mean it's a zile bakhtar, which is the helmet and protection which you wear over the thing, which which is with us, and on the Shera we.
So what is the connection between the Dashera and the clothes? Why not other festivals?
Because the Shera for, I think, Rajputs is a we on the Shera day we worship all the weapons, because it was basically it's, I think, Ram in his form of as a warrior.
As a warrior.
Yeah. So that is the day, even till today, all the weapons and Mataji, everything we do on the Shera. So because it's a symbol of he won in that war, and he fought very bravely, and that's why we.
किशनगढ़ के बारे में कुछ ऐसी बातें होती हैं जो सिर्फ किशनगढ़ के लोग जानते हैं, बट ऐसी कुछ बात जो आपके बहुत करीब हो, आप हमें कुछ बताना चाहते हैं उसके बारे में?
जहाँ बैठे हैं आज, उसी के मैं आपको जो सामने दिख रहा है उसी के बारे में बताऊं थोड़ा। एक तो मोखम विलास आपको जो दिख रहा है, और एक जो अब काली माता जी का मंदिर है। तो मोखम विलास के जो है वो मोखम सिंह जी यहाँ के महाराजा थे, जो 1838 से 1840 तक थे, 2 साल। उनके जो वाइफ थे वो उदयपुर के प्रिंसेस थे, तो उनको शायद उन्होंने उदयपुर की, या उदयपुर में लेक पैलेस है, आपने देखा होगा, उसकी याद में ये पूरा, यहाँ पहले दूसरा बाग था, उसको हटा के फिर इसको लेक के बीच में मोखम विलास एक गार्डन भी बुलाया, जिसको फिर धीरे धीरे मोखम विलास बोलने पड़े। और इसका आधा जो हिस्सा है यहाँ बहुत फेमस, अगेन 1890 में सोमयज्ञ हुआ था, तो वो सोमयज्ञ का स्थान है, वो है। उसका थोड़ा आगे जाएंगे तो गुंदलाव के साइड में आस जी की टेकरी है, जैसे काली माता का मंदिर भी कहते हैं। सो आस जी, जब किशनगढ़ किला बना उसके पहले सेंट थे, जो वहाँ जो टेकरी थी जहाँ किले के जगह, वहाँ अपना धुनी कर रहे थे, पूजा कर रहे थे। तो किशन सिंह जी ने बोला मुझे यहाँ किला बनाना है, तो उनने कहा ठीक है राजा, आपका किला यहाँ बनेगा, पर उसकी एंट्रेंस टेढ़ी मेढ़ी होगी। तो आज भी किशनगढ़ किला की एंट्रेंस बिल्कुल टेढ़ी है, और वो उन्होंने अपना सारी धुनी, अंगारे और वो लेके कपड़े में डाला, और गुंदलाव पूरा भरा हुआ था। गुंदलाव किशनगढ़ बनने से 100 साल पहले का है, और पानी के ऊपर चल के वो इस जगह में आए। इसको आस जी की टेकरी कहते हैं, लोग आसन की टेकरी, और उनका नाम आस जी था। और महाराजा कृष्ण सिंह जी ने उसी वक्त उनको ये पूरी टेकरी, उन्हीं को बोला ये आपका स्थान है। तो उसमें फिर और मंदिर, और काली माता का मंदिर, और वो सब बना।
सो हर हाइनेस, कभी किशनगढ़ में कोई वॉर हुआ है?
वेल, किशनगढ़ का किला तो कभी किसी ने जीता नहीं। ये अभी प्रोबेबली ओनली किला बचा है जिसमें मोट है। मोट आप समझते, पानी की नहर है। और इसके पहले सुना है दरवाज़ा जो होता था वो रात को हटा दिया जाता था, और जो दरवाजे हैं उनमें बहुत बड़ी बड़ी सीखें लगी, लोहे की सरिये लगे हुए हैं, ताकि हाथी उसको हटा नहीं सके। और कईयों ने कैप्चर करने की करी कोशिश, जोधपुर मराठास, पर जीता नहीं। और किशनगढ़ का किला नहीं जीता। जो आपका चौबुर्जा है, वहाँ वो एक आउटपोस्ट थी, वहाँ से बहुत दूर तक दिखता था आर्मीज आती है, और बहुत आउटपोस्ट थी। तो किशनगढ़ तो हमेशा किशनगढ़ रूलर्स के साथ ही रहा है।
So ma'am, we really had a great time talking with you regarding the history. So, but नया जो modern traditional चल रहा है, so how would you blend the modern traditional and the royal traditional together?
I think by blending both together, I think by also having your ideas and your thought process go into the town. I think for me personally, because I run about 4 schools. So what happens is that it's my ideas which are going into the town. These are schools for the local people, you know. It could be an artist who comes back home. The father could be an artist who works, you know, who's working in the town and comes at night and does painting. Or it could be a guy who's a compounder in a hospital. But the children, so our sensibility of, you know, being conscious about your history, your city, and the values which we have been taught. I would like to think I'm passing them on to a lot of people in Kishangarh, and I think time will tell.
Ma'am, like you are a mother of 2 beautiful daughters.
Yes.
So how do you manage your royal responsibilities and the motherhood together?
I think women are very resilient. You somehow you manage.
Yeah.
You manage. You have to compromise in something, but you manage.
You manage.
Yes.
Ma'am, we just know that MSS school is rolling really very well in Kishangarh. So what is your vision for that school in the future?
I think I just told you in my last thing. I think even if I'm able to get some responsible citizens out who care for, you know, as I think, first your own family, then your city, and then your state and your country. I think, and to value your environment. I mean, you need to do that, because I think sooner time is going to come when we are going to fight for air, fresh air. I mean, you go to a city, a bigger city, you'll realize how lucky we are to be living. But we all need to be a little more responsible. We need to be more conscious about environment, of everything. I think that is, and that I think my basic idea is, if I'm able to give that to the children, I think it's good.
Ma'am, what makes Kishangarh different from other cities?
I think the history, I think the culture, the art, definitely the art. I think the poetry. There are many things which make it different, and I think you all realize it. It is got a character, which I think a lot of cities have lost, and I hope we don't lose it. Because it's there, you know, and we all have to be responsible for keeping that character intact.
Her Highness, we came to know your daughter runs a studio here by the name Kishangarh Studio. So will you please brief us about what studio is about and how it will be more avail to the citizen of Kishangarh?
Yes, she started the studio some time ago. Basically, she's contemporizing the miniature paintings, in the sense that she's making it more relatable to today's audience, the young people today, to think. And she wants this art to continue, because I think by the time she grew up and saw in Kishangarh, it was like the painting had become like a factory. So it was just either elephants being produced or horses being produced. So the basic heart of the painting was lost. So she's trying to that, and she wants to start a school for Kishangarh art. And she's taken it all over the world. And basically, I think hitting at the younger audience, at the audience which is more receptive in the ways they are. So the ways, I think that's what she's trying to do. Okay.
Her Highness, we really wanted to know that, like, हमने बहुत सुना है इस चीज को लेके, कि हमने सीरीज में भी देखा है कि you have a darbar set up, you meet on the appointment basis. So
No. It's nothing like, it's actually nothing. Don't believe the movies you see. It's nothing like that.
okay.
I think probably just like what how you spend your day, but yes, with a lot more responsibilities, because you have to manage your traditions.
Yeah.
You have to manage your culture. You have to manage the festivals. You have to manage, a lot of things. And I would think as much as the traditional way we can continue doing it, we should, till we can. Why not?
So it's not like we are living a same life. There must be some.
I think I think I have more responsibility than what you have, because my day does start very early and ends very late, because there's a lot of responsibility on your thing. And yes, and you are answerable, I think, first of all to you yourself, because whatever you do, one has to do it with your complete devotion and complete thing. So that is.
So how do you see Kishangarh in the future? Like the Kishangarh way back, what is the difference we have seen so many years have been passed? So what are the changes you have seen in Kishangarh, and what is your future for the Kishangarh?
Well, I definitely have seen a lot of the environment being destroyed. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but the very water we are on, we are just so careless. It's we need to be more conscious about our own waste. Everything has been made for it. We need to be, again, for our environment. I think that's a lot of change I've seen. I've seen a lot of birds go away. This lake used to be at this time full of millions of birds. We don't have a single one because it's totally polluted. I've seen a lot of vegetation go away. You have to look for those trees which used to be earlier. So I think environment, I feel the changes there. That's otherwise the food habits remain the same, the people remain the same, the festivals remain the same. We still have a Holi and your Gangor and whatever. But I think it's just that. So
any future aspects for Kishangarh? What you see Kishangarh as in future?
In future, I wish the people of Kishangarh would be more conscious of their city.
Okay.
I really think they need to be, because it's a city. Okay, you earn a lot of money here. You're making a lot of money, but give something back to it.
Back to.
Yes, because we are, as I told you, we are custodians. We are a link in a chain. Let's keep that chain moving, and let's leave a healthy, a good life for the generations coming after us. I think I really feel strongly about that.
So, ma'am, what are the values you want to teach the today's generation? Like what they are lacking behind? Our generation, what are we lacking behind?
I think a generation younger than you, probably, I think patience.
Patience.
I think what we really, I won't say that, is the phone I think what we really, you probably notice it yourself. You're going on the road. The man is in such a hurry to cross you. I mean, he doesn't realize if you both give each other way, you'll reach your destination faster. I think we need patience. A lot of patience.
We are lacking in patience.
Yes. I mean, we are.
Yes, we do.
We are in a hurry to do what? I don't know. But I think we need to be a little more, take a deep breath. And definitely we need to be cleaner.
Yeah.
Because I think all of you must be noticing yourself. What I'm saying is
very well.
Yes, we really need to.
Your Highness, we really wanted to know, like when the Phool Mill will convert it into this museum. Like being a citizen of Kishangarh, I want to know when the history will be preserved here.
Yes, I think probably not Phool Mill as a museum, probably the fort definitely at some point. So because that's got the space and that's got the history, a lot of history in it. Probably at some later stage. Let's keep that a mystery.
Okay. So, Your Highness, you are a symbol of strength, grace, and elegancy to many of the women. So, what message you want to pass to us as a woman regarding our responsibilities, our abilities?
Personally, it's totally personal opinion, but I feel a woman can only be empowered when she's financially independent. So for the women, educate yourself, learn a skill, whatever your home is there, of course, but make yourself financially independent, and only when you are that will you be totally empowered. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such great message. I think many of our women will be connected deeply to it.
I hope so. I hope so. Thank you.